Yeah, we're going.
Okay.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Brian Terrian from the Disability Digest, and welcome to our YouTube live session and our effort here at the Disability Digest to help you get, keep, and maximize your disability benefits. With us today, Mr. Philip Price and Miss Jam. Thanks for joining to help out with the program. How we doing?
You bet. Glad to be here. Hello, everybody.
Good. I'm glad you made it. So folks, I want to apologize. I had to cut last week's show a little short because I had a weather issue, but we're looking like it's smooth sailing today. So I look forward to covering the topic that we have at hand. And if you're new here or haven't been here in a while, our goal in these live events is to help you understand how to get your benefits, keep them and maximize them, really to be your trusted source for information for your Social Security disability benefits and other related issues. So we hope you enjoy the show. Today, we are going to talk about disability approval times, when you're going through the disability approval, what you can expect, and once you're approved, what you can expect to have for your disability benefits as far as the time frame to be reviewed. So, and I have Philip joining us today. Philip Price runs one of the probably fastest growing Facebook groups out there that help people with disability related issues. So his group provides wonderful support from other individuals, answers some general questions, but for the actual technical how-to, like what to say and do at each step through the approval process, or what exact benefits are available to you once you're approved. That information we provide to you at the Disability Digest with a membership at no charge. So we have this teamed up to make this whole thing work. That's our objective, I think, Philip, right?
That's correct.
Good.
Join to get the right information.
Right on. Right on. And of course, Jam is here to keep us in line, make sure that we do everything correctly and moderate the questions that we have. So how are we looking? Are our streams live on Facebook? And yeah?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yay. So that's good news. Okay, good. So let's get into it. Oh, also, folks, we're going to take some questions here today. You can put your questions in the chat, whether it's in the Facebook group, there's a chat feature there. Philip will moderate. And if it's a YouTube, you can enter your questions in there, which I see some activity already starting. And we will take some questions. Also, you'll have the ability to call in. We'll take your question, your comment, or your success story live in a call in, and I'll publish the number in a few minutes. All right. You know, it would be interesting, if you wouldn't mind, Jim, is just to kind of probe the people out there to see where like people are at. Are they at the initial application? Have they applied and waiting? Right? Denied, unfortunately, or approved. So we can attempt to steer our conversation accordingly. Okay. So one of the common questions that we receive from people is like, how long does it take? You know, I've been waiting. I'm talking about the approval process, and then I'm going to get on to those of you that are approved. Uh, what's going on? What can I do to speed it up? So I'm going to go through the information that is available to us, also available to you, and the links that I'm going to cover have been put in the show description notes on the YouTube side. So you can just check those out, or you can ask in the Facebook group if you can't find them. So here is what we're going to go through. I just, I had somebody, reach out to me the other day and they said, oh my God, I don't know what everybody's bitching about because I got my benefits in 2 weeks. So I had to do a little bit more digging into this. And what I found out is they were 62 years old and they had applied for their Social Security retirement. and and you see on the screen, you can get that benefit in 2 weeks, but that is different. I want to repeat, that is different than your Social Security disability benefits. Because there's a qualification process that you have to go through. If you're 62, you're 62. They're able to figure that one out. But the process of determining if you're eligible for disability involves, confirming that you have a diagnosis, that you're being treated by your doctors, and those limitations, despite the treatment, prevent you from working. That's the general. So that process takes some time, and we're going to get into it. So if somebody tells you 2 weeks, I'd really like ask more questions because it's probably not the actual deal. So that's the processing time for benefits. I'm going to go, and this is a Social Security site that is, again, in the description. And by the way, this is something that's new. The new Commissioner O'Malley, started pumping out information for people like you and I, so we could actually see what's going on and what they're working on. So when they start to work and drive these numbers down and make them more favorable, hopefully, we can see that. Okay. So here is the page on the disability determination time process. Now, a few things. Their goal right now is to get the wait time for an initial application down to approximately 7 months, 215 days by the end of next year, end of 2025. So you can use that as a benchmark for your expectations. If you have or are applying for disability benefits and you're looking for a decision, as a general rule, you can figure, or you should figure in about 7 months. What they're working on. So when now, they start to we're getting these numbers, some feedback. I don't know, Philip or Jamie, have your sound on. So there's areas that are better and are like worse than this, and that's like a geographical thing. So down here, and this shows the trend. You can see it's not good. It continues to go on. Down to approximately 7 months. So this graph shows the processing time, and you'll see green is good and red is not. So when somebody says like Florida is really bad, well, maybe parts of Florida are, but doesn't show that all of Florida is. So the same with Texas, like where Philip is in Texas is like one of the longest waits in the country. So what this is communicating here is it's stating the field office processing time for steps 1 and 3. And then this is the processing time for step 2. Now, you may not know what they're referring to, but there is a 5-step process for the disability approval. And this link is also available. Also available in the description. And so the steps are outlined on this PDF from Social Security. They want to find out if you're working, and if you are, is it above or below the allowed amount? Is your condition severe enough? Does it meet or equal a listing? And so those are the general, the three. Then they're going to look at your prior work also. That's 4. So steps 1, 2, and 3 are the key ones that are done at the local office, and what they're referring to on this graph. All right. So that's what you can expect. I think the key thing is there isn't much, I don't know if key thing is the right thing to say here, but there isn't much you can do to influence the process. If you're in financial need or dire need, they do have this dire need clause, but they don't really react to it. There is an expedite clause for veterans with 100% rating. I've seen that to be marginally effective. They're supposed to make those decisions quicker. So I would just encourage you to be polite, persistent, and patient as best you can. And the thing that I encourage or try to educate people is, try to have a plan in place so that you can ride this out before you have to react. That's the best advice I can give for people. But for many, it's too late because you never expect this is going to happen. You think you're invisible. I had a conversation with a lady yesterday that had a beautiful career. She bought a new lawnmower and the seat wasn't fastened properly. There were 2 screws missing and it came loose. She was sideways on a hill and she went over and the mower went over on top of her, and she's lost her mobility. She won't be able to work again, just like that, right? Yeah. So you need to prepare. Okay, so this is for the approval piece. I want to talk about, for those of you that are approved, what you can expect for timeframes. So once you're approved for disability benefits, I have another prop up here I want to show folks. You receive an award letter. Okay, this is a kind of a typical award letter that outlines how much you get paid, and I blocked some stuff out to protect privacy. But I want to come down here to a section that says things to remember in the future, right here. Doctors and other trained staff have decided that you are disabled under our rules, but this decision must be reviewed at least once every 3 years. Now, some of you are going to have different variations of this, or some of you may have none at all, may not have the things to remember in your letter, or you may have had this in your letter and you didn't read it and remember it. But this could be 3, it could be 5, it could be 18 months, it could be 1 year. And that is the expectations that you should have up until you reach your full retirement age, that you are going to be reviewed for disability benefits. The younger you are, the higher the frequency. Now, there was a ruling, or I guess it's a ruling put out by the commissioner, where he had asked to have all of the continuing disability reviews stopped or paused for the rest of 2024. And it actually was a ruling that came out. And so they could take all of those extra resources in reviewing the benefits and put them into getting the approval process, like getting the numbers down. But they're still doing reviews. I hear people every day. So I don't know what is going on with that. So I just would say it's reviews as usual out there. Now, what the difference is for the reviews, why some have 3 years, 5 years, and some may have none at all. It's covered on this page, which again, this link is going to be in the YouTube description. It depends on your severity. What am I looking for here? Okay. If you are expected to have medical improvement or your condition will, then you can expect to have have a review. And then an example of that would be somebody had a stroke or a heart attack, or they had cancer that was treatable. They were out of work for a while, collected disability benefits, but they will be able to go back to work. Those conditions are going to have a review set on them. Something that's more permanent, then no. So that's going to be the determining factor. Now, if you don't have this and you went to a disability hearing and you would like to know like what it is, if you read your decision letter from your hearing, that information should have been put in there by the judge in the decision rating. Now, when you go to a hearing, you receive a letter with your decisions called the decision letter. That's like could be 5 to 35 pages long. And that's where you would be able to find the severity of your condition and how they viewed it. If you were approved at the initial level or the reconsideration level, you would not receive that letter. You just receive a letter like I showed you earlier in the program. So I'm in hopes that this helps you get an idea of what to expect for, the decision time and the process. So again, we encourage you to tune in to our other information so that you understand what you need to say and do to communicate to get your benefits approved, what you need to say and do to keep your benefits, because once you're approved, the game is not over. You stood all the way up until full retirement age. In my opinion, you need to protect your benefits by taking the necessary steps. Okay. All right. I see there's a bunch of questions coming in. So let's do this. Let's take a few questions, then I'll open up the phone lines. People can call in. We'll kind of bounce back and forth, right? How do we want to do this? Want to do ladies first and Jam starts, Philip?
Always ladies first.
Ladies first. Okay, of course. Jam, you're.
I'm a Texas boy, so it's always ladies first.
All right, that's good. I don't know what they do in Oklahoma. Maybe it's something different. I won't go there.
Probably. We don't talk about Oklahoma.
All right, Jam, you're on.
All right. This is more of a statement, Brian. Put in October, they received in April. They are 68% done under 50. I guess under 50 years old.
All right.
All right.
That's a nice comment. I don't really
Yeah.
clear how to react to that one.
I'm waiting for the steps to move forward. I've applied for appeal and it said it's on step 3 out of 5. Medical review has started, but I haven't received any appointment to review.
Okay. Medical review doesn't necessarily mean that you will go to a doctor. Medical review could mean, as likely means that your medical records and your evidence is being reviewed.
Right. And I'm sorry, can you go next, Phil? My screen is freezing. I'm sorry.
I do have a question, Jim, before that. I see some responses up here, or is your screen froze and you're not able to determine that, like how many are approved, applied and waiting, etc.?
Yeah. Our Paul.
Yeah.
17 votes, have not applied 12%, applied and denied 18, applied and waiting 41%, approved 29%.
Okay. Yeah, if I see 72 on YouTube. If you could complete the poll, that would really help us help you. So if you could do that, that would be great. Mr. Philip Price, you
Okay.
are up.
Purpose of a doctor's appointment.
So do we know like where this person is at, or they just, that's the gist of the question?
That's just the gist of the question.
Okay.
They're also saying are they the ones who make the decision?
Okay, so as far as the ones that make the decision, no. Here, I'm gonna address this as though somebody is going through their initial application, which is where 72% of the people go to a medical exam, an independent medical exam. And what happens here is this individual or individuals are sent to a doctor hired by Social Security. And the objective of this doctor is to review you and your medical records to make sure that they are consistent, so that you haven't submitted any bogus medical records and you are indeed telling the truth. There's some really this is a key part of the process. And at the Disability Digest, you join us as a member, there's no cost. You can get access to our disability approval course, which is no cost for that. And that provides you step-by-step guidance to go through the process. But one of the key things it has in there is a lesson about the 6 key things that you want to do when you go to that appointment. Because without the 6 things and knowing what they are, you go in there 1v1. And you're really, unfortunately, your word against theirs. And you need to hedge against that by following those directions. So if you're a member already at the digest, then you can then you haven't found it, or you forgot it, or you don't know where it is, just contact us at support and we'll get it for you.
All right, here's one addressing what you were talking about earlier in the award letter, approval letter. Says, I've heard a few people state their approval letter. Some sentence about being reviewed in a few years. Mine did not say this. Does this mean I won't be reviewed, or will I?
Yeah, I don't know based on that information, and I don't know. If you were approved at the hearing level, I'd go back through your decision letter. And look at that. The thing, here's the message, the big picture message about the reviews. My position on how to address your disability benefits is to do what you should be doing anyway, which is going to the doctors, getting proper treatment. If there's treatment that you don't like or doesn't work for you, is to make sure that you explain why you are choosing not to do that, like take certain medications, or you don't want to go to physical therapy or whatever it is, and follow the work that we have. And then I would invest your energy and your efforts there, rather than, am I going to get reviewed? Oh my God, I got to go check the mail today. And oh man, I might have that piece of paper. If you do the right things, then you don't have to worry about it. That's my take. That's what I'm attempting to communicate to people.
All right. When you file and they ask you to mail the medical documents, what do you mail?
Not sure. So when you asking you to mail the medical documents?
Yeah. When you file and they ask you to mail the medical documents, what do you mail?
Well, the way the initial application process works, in my now 18 years of experience, you're not asked to mail medical records. The medical record collection is a responsibility of Social Security at the initial application. And you should definitely have them contact your doctors and get that. The thing that it could be is that you are sent forms to fill out about your daily living and your work history. Those are not like straight up medical forms, but it could be that you're referring to that. So I think to, cut my ramble short is I would need to know exactly like what the letter reads and what it looks like, but hopefully that information will help you. It just one more thing. It is, I have seen submitting medical records on your own to Social Security typically cause more problems than add value at the initial application. And the reason for that is it's their job to request them, which they do. And if you send them and you send them in and it duplicates current records, or your record may not be complete, and maybe you didn't include all pages, or you printed some off and your printer jammed, they're not easy to read. It's better if they get a digital version from your doctor put in the case file, because the chances of everything being there accurately is higher. That's what I'm attempting to communicate.
All right, last one here. Can you work while you're waiting for your initial application to go through the process?
All right. Can you work while you're going through the application process? The answer to that is yes, you can. The regulation allows you to work and earn up to $1,550 a month and apply for disability benefits. However, working is in many cases detrimental to your approval chances because you're trying to prove that you can't work. So just word of caution on that.
All right, Jam, are you ready?
Yes. Here's one. I have widow's benefit and I receive my benefits 2 weeks into month. Do you know if I can ask them to change it to the beginning of the month because rent is due at 5th?
I have no idea on that one. I don't know. I'm not, I've never been asked that. It's a good question.
Right. I noticed the letters you put up said normally reviewed in 3 years. What do they mean by normally? Is it you may never get reviewed depending on age?
Well, they're expected to review like 20. Well, right now the volume is 20% of disability recipients a year. What my interpretation of that is if your review is to be at the 3-year mark, it might be at 3 years and 2 months or 3 years and 3 months. It may not. It doesn't mean it's going to be right at 3 years.
I'm on step 4. My application is at my local office. They're doing a final review. I called last Friday. They said I was approved and I would be getting a letter. I think I have to go into the office. Do you know why they would send me a letter to go into the office if they said I was approved? Thank you.
It could be a variety of reasons. I don't know if you have children. That could be one. It could be the payment. It could be that you're dual eligible for Social Security disability and SSI. But the good news is you're approved, right? So, and with that approval letter, if you are a member here at the Disability Digest, you can reach out to us with that. I mean, if that letter has more detail in it, we can review it and, give you some coaching on the next steps. So, and again, at the Disability Digest, if you're a member, that type of benefit review work, we do at no charge. The membership is supported by ads, sponsors that we have on our videos, and services that we provide to fund our efforts. So we can do things like that, like review your letter and review advice and help you with the next steps.
All right. I know you covered this earlier, Brian, but you focus on at initial application. But
Mhm.
here's the question. During review process, do we need to keep updating medical records throughout?
During the review process. So this is for somebody that is having a continuing disability review?
Waiting, applied and waiting.
Oh, okay. If you've applied and waiting, the key thing is to keep your treatment up. And if you have new evidence, then you should submit that. New evidence would be something like your condition increased in severity. So if you had a condition that was marked, for example, like degenerative disc disease, that was moderate, but it got increased to severe, then that would be something. If you have a new diagnosis, that would definitely be something. If you have obtained written support from your doctor, like a residual functional capacity report, like confirming your treatment and your limitations and your ability to work, that type of information should be submitted. So something new. Other than that, just maintain your treatment and remember to communicate your limitations as we teach you in each and every visit.
Real quick, I got one here, Brian, from Pat in the group. Says, I was approved for Fed disability retirement. Does this have any effect on my SSDI?
I don't know. Fed disability. I wonder like who she worked for. Typically, other benefit packages like long-term disability, retirement packages, those or private disability packages, or if you're in California and you get state disability, those don't, but that is a general type of question. I don't know what federal agency or disability policy it is. So I'm not going to go all in and say yes or no.
All right. I was in a bad car wreck a year ago and I'm still not able to work full time, only part time. I can't even make ends meet to pay bills. Would I be able to get disability until I'm able to work full time? Age 41.
So how long out of work, Jim?
Um, car wreck was a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Currently only able to work part time.
okay. So if part-time is less than the allowed amount, then it is possible. Now, I'm just going to dig into the allowed amount here a little bit deeper because this is the second time this has come up. So on this website right here, this is, I'll put this in the chat, Jam, and you can send it around. So this is this video at the top of the page is going to play and sound a lot like me, because it is. But there's two different amounts that you can make. One when you are going through the approval process, this top one, and then one when you're approved. There are two different amounts. So I'm just going to address the question this way, that the amount that you can make and apply for disability is 1,550, as I mentioned. If you are legally blind, then it's a different figure. And yes, if you're out of work and you're earning less than that part-time, you can apply and you can go for what's called a closed period of disability, where let's say you need the benefit coverage for 18 months, right? You can definitely go and pursue that. Actually, Social Security, according to some of those that I've interviewed, that they are receptive to that. They're more receptive to have somebody come and say, listen, here's the situation. I have a car wreck. I can't work. This is all the medical. I'm working my way back to work, but I haven't been able to work for this period of time, because it means to them they don't have to pay you for the rest of your life, for disability benefits. is the theory behind that.
Hey, Brian,
All right.
Pat responded and said HHS and NIH federal.
HHS and NIS federal.
NIH, I don't know what that is.
Right, right. I don't either. I still hold my position without doing some research on it. I don't know. I would say I'm right now 90% that it does not. Because those typical disability policies behave like a short-term, long-term disability policy where you paid into it. It's part of your worker benefit package and you can collect that. You know, like most of the larger companies have a package like that. And if that's what it is and how you've accessed it, then your Social Security disability is funded by your FICA tax. So it's a separate benefit program that you would be able to access.
All right, here's one. I have not had any communications or updates from my representing attorney's office. I don't know if this is normal. I just check on my Social Security account for an update.
I don't know how other people run their practice or what organization this is, but what we deal with those that we represent here when somebody comes in and joins us and is looking for help for representation is we have expectations that are set. Like, here's when we're going to contact you. If you need us, here's what you do to contact us and when you can expect a reply. There are long periods of time in the process where there's like low to no activity, but still there's certainly a check-in. So my point is I don't know if you put any communication plan in place and what it is or where you're at in the process, but that would be something that I would reach out to them and say, hey, listen, what can I expect? What should I expect? Where are we at? You know, and if there's some things that are being done, then or should be done, then you should have them done. Now, I want to dig into this a little bit more. If you're using a disability representative, we could definitely help you here at the Disability Digest. When you join us as a member, again, there's no cost for that. I explained earlier in the program. And then you would get access to our disability approval course, which again, there's no cost for that. But the course it is granular in that it addresses what you need based on where you're at in the process. So let's say you've applied and you're waiting, you're using this representation and you haven't heard from them. Well, you can look in the course and you can understand what should be done. Like they should have requested residual functional capacity reports from your doctor. You should have had this evidence in place. You should have had the work history and the adult function forms filled out. Has all that been done? And if it has, great. If it hasn't, then you can start to take action and say, listen, I haven't heard from you. These items are not done. This is why you're representing me. What's going on?
Thank you, Brian. I know you covered this one as well, but I've seen this question twice now. Are folks 62 years old and over getting CDRs?
Yes.
All right. My application has been at the local FBU Costa Rica since January. I am 100% PNT. I asked for fast track, way beyond the average 15 days. What could be going on?
I'm a little lost on Puerto Rico. Is it Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
Okay.
Costa Rica.
Oh, Costa Rica. That's what confused me. So I don't understand Costa Rica to be a like a territory from the US. So it's not clear what the benefit that you're applying for. If it was Puerto Rico, that's why you would apply and your application goes in. The question is not clear to me. I would need some more detail. Like, are you applying or addressing Social Security disability, or is this a veterans benefit question? I'm going to open up the phone lines. If somebody has a question they want to call in, just because I said I would earlier. So I'm going to put the number up on the screen and then I'll open the lines up and you can call in. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to call in. Success story, question, anything like that that you haven't been able to get addressed or would rather speak to us about, you can give us a call at 844-717-2454. Again, that's 844-717-2454. We'll continue to take questions until or if we get a caller calling in.
All right, maybe you have a tip, Brian. Individual is at reconsideration since 21.
Since 2021.
Yes, reconsideration since December 2021.
That's too long. My yeah, that's just way too long. So the advice that I have would be to contact your local government representative. If you're a member here at the Disability Digest, or join us at the Disability Digest, we can get you the number to call, what to say and do. And like here in Vermont, I use Senator Bernie Sanders for different things, who their office is amazing. And so you can ask them, say, listen, I've been waiting for this period of time, which my understanding is way too long because I just showed you what to expect. And can you help me find out what's going on and why I haven't received a decision? And that's actually what they do. And this is, the political climate right now is pretty hot. So these offices should be like on their top behavior to get you answers so they can, in their effort to get votes. So give that a go. You can also search the YouTube channel for the keyword representative. You should be able to find it that way. And we've done live events that have covered this very topic as well. All right. Folks, if you'd like to call in, it's 844-717-2454. We'll continue to take some questions from Philip. Jam, you have any?
All right, yes. Do you know how long the disability doctor takes to make his or her findings on your case?
No, I don't. We're not privy to those. I wouldn't say it's very long because that's the last step at the initial application, and oftentimes like within 60 days you receive your decision, or you should.
When I had go Phil.
All right. Brandy says, I talked to the adjudicator today. She said it's in final review with doctor and shouldn't be much longer. I'm at 48% on the line. She said I've turned in everything needed and I shouldn't have to see their doctors. I was never sent a work history form to return. Shouldn't I have had to send that in?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I don't know of a situation where that has not been requested. Was it 48%, Philip?
Yes.
Okay. Just a tip for everybody. When you're speaking with Social Security and they communicate, it shouldn't be much longer. I encourage you to use the same mode of communication that we coach you on doing with your limitations, rather than saying, I can't sit or stand, for example, for a long period of time. Who knows what a long period of time is? It could be 3 days. And if that's the case, then you're not going to qualify. So somebody says to you, so what you should say when your communications, I can't stand for 15 minutes and I can't sit for more than 20 minutes. Where I'm going with this is if somebody says it shouldn't be long, well, what's long? Is that a day? You think I'll have an answer in a day? Will it be 7 days? And then based on that, you can plan your follow-up. They say 10 days and you don't get an answer in 10 days, call back. Say, listen, 10 days ago, you said it would be 10 days. It's been 14 days.
if you're on step 4 waiting step 5, if it drags on your call your Congress, can they expedite it faster if you call the Congress?
They have, they have been able to find out. Sometimes these cases just get lost. I mean, this might sound absolutely just crazy, but lost, or it could be the person that was working on it and left the agency and it's sitting on a desk somewhere. So that stuff legit really happens. So just getting somebody that can get in there and find out, they're not going to influence the decision, but they can definitely bring attention to it.
Right. So people are discussing about the attorney fees, Brian. Maybe you can chime in on this as well.
Mm-hmm. Like anything specific about the attorney
Yeah,
fees?
the standard, yeah, anything, a standard fee.
Okay. So are they talking about it going up or?
Someone said it's 40%,
Yeah.
someone is 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. So Social Security has one fee structure for disability representatives, and it's 25% of your back benefits, and that amount right now is capped at $7,200.
200.
So if somebody says I paid 20% or I get charged 40%, first of all, it's not allowed. All of the fees that disability representatives like myself and others that do this work are charged all have to be approved by Social Security. And if they're charging you something different, then it's just not allowed. They come up with the fees. So if you sign an agreement with a disability representative, most of the agreements now are done in a Social Security letterhead document that outlines the fee, and it has the disability representative's number on it that they assign a representative number. So there really isn't like that 20 or 40%. Now, the fee is going up in November. It's going up from 7,200 to 9,200. So it was 6,000 like 18 months ago. So it continues to go up. So my advice to people is, we provide a disability approval course for you to manage your case on your own if you want to do that. But whether you do that and use the disability approval course, if you do it right in the beginning, you have a good shot at getting approved at the initial application, especially if you're over 50 years old. So, and the only time that you're subject to those high fees, like getting to 7,200 or 9,200, is if you don't get approved at the initial. So do your work in advance, which I applaud you for being here, and so that you can avoid paying that extra. Did I cover everything on that?
Yes. Thank you, Brian. That's it from me for now.
Okay. How about you, Philip? Anything going on over there?
I think that's everything for us today.
Okay. All right. Good. Perfect. Well, it's been a good session. We've had some wonderful questions, and I'm glad our technology worked out and we were able to stream to both platforms. So a few things in closing, folks. We are now, this is our new time slot here at the Disability Digest for doing these events. So it's 3:15. And we had asked you, I don't know, several sessions ago if this was a preferred time, and we got a resounding yes. So we welcome you to come back. From time to time, we have guest speakers. I know we have 2 events coming up where we have guest speakers that are experts on different topics. So But our main focus again is to help you understand what you need to do to get, keep, and maximize your disability benefits. So I hope you enjoyed the show. The very best way we can help you is for you to join us or update us as a member here at the Disability Digest. And the reason for that is this. This is general information. Some of it doesn't pertain to everybody. Like some of you are approved and you're listening to information for those that are not approved. So to get a customized approach to the process to help you get the best, most relevant information, resources, potentially contact advocates like Philip and Jam that work here to help you, is to join us as a member. Just fill out your profile. And by filling out your profile, like you see on the screen right now, it helps us understand where you're at in the process, what information would be most helpful for you to get you from where you're at now to where you're going, so that we can help you get approved. So if you're in the Facebook group for Philip and you can't find access to the Disability Digest, just reply to Philip, the moderator, or somebody in there will help you. But it's thedisabilitydigest.com. And again, we're supported by ads, sponsors, and services, so there's no charge to you. We earn our money so we can provide a free membership to you. Philip, Jam, thank you for your contribution to today's event.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, wonderful. And to all of you out there, I see there are 431 on YouTube. I appreciate you. It's a privilege to serve you. I hope I found this of value, and we encourage you and welcome you back next week. All right. Make it a great day, everybody. Until the next time.
Thank
See
you,
y'all next
guys.
week.